Das Forum Nordicum wird unterstützt durch die Deutsche Avia Mineralöl GmbH.
Welcome everyone, and this is maybe a new moment for you all, because that a governmental institution is actually telling you what we do with the tax money. That might be pretty new for everyone. And we just want to show you what we do as the Federal Police Sports School, or the High Performance Sport Program of the Federal Police in Germany. Because as journalists, you should ask the question, how do athletes run their life? Like, how do they earn money? Because in winter sport, there are some sports where they generate some money, but not a lot. So how do they run their lives while they're running, jumping, sprinting, skating, or whatever they do? And most of you know there are funding systems in almost every country where, like, the army does something, the police does something, the customs sometimes. So for us, we are part of that system, but we do it differently, because we are taking care of the athletes in a different way, and they're not just getting an alimentation, like getting just money, they're getting the full education as a policeman. So for us, meet the team, like that's what we have as a sports school. We are in total, in our sports, we call it a sports school. We have 85 supported athletes in total. That's the maximum number we have. That's based on a number that the Ministry of Inner Affairs is setting for us. And the entry ticket, that's what I call it, for every athlete who wants to join our support is a national team standard. So it starts with juniors. They need to be in the national team with juniors. And for the seniors, the same. Like, if you want to stay in the program with us, you have to have a national team status at the end. So we were, until this summer, we were like funding or helping, supporting athletes from 4 federations. Now we have 5. So the biggest one, which is also 50% of our spots for the athletes, is the German Skiing Federation, Deutscher Skiverband, with the various sports you see there. We are supporting the Bobsleigh and Luge and Skeleton Federation in Germany, and their athletes, which are, if you look, because you are journalists, you will know this, which is like the highest medal count in the German winter sport at the moment. This is Bobsleigh, Luge, and Skeleton. We're having Snowboard Germany with 2 sports, snowboard cross and snowboard race. The German Speed Skating and Short Track Federation, where I'm actually coming from as a former speed skater. And now new in our program is ski mountaineering. The German Alpenverein, like the mountaineering federation, they applied for our program at the Ministry of Inner Affairs and got the permit to enter into our program from this summer on. So we are having now the first athletes going through our tests, and we are hopeful that we will have the first athletes maybe even before Milan Cortina or close after Milano Cortina. So that is the total amount of sports we have. As you see, we don't have the hockey federation, so we don't have team sports, like real team sports, and we don't do figure skating, which is not like, let's say, a dead end. They can apply if they want. So we call it the only dual career, and I want to tell you, very brief and short, why we call it this way. First off, as I said, like many of you understand sport funding by governmental institutions as pure transfer of money, like alimentation, that they have an income. For us, it's more, because we guarantee the athletes a full education as a policeman at the beginning of their career, not at the end, what you might know from the customs or from other countries. So after the school, after their final exams in school, they pretty much transit to us right away, and they get entered into our system, and from the first moment on, they get education. So in the early stages of their career, they already become a policeman and have a job, guaranteed at the end of their career, with a full education and the full rights and duties as every other policeman in the federal police in Germany, which is, as you look at careers, a big, big benefit. Because others, let's say soldiers in the army, some study, some finish their studies, but many of them are stuck in the middle when suddenly the career ends. And that's a big benefit for our athletes, that they know I will have a job at the end. It's like we sometimes say it's a little pillar, like a little cushion underneath, you know, that they fall light, but at the end it's just like a good setup for the future of the athlete. To do that, we have a blended training and learning system, and like a connection of training and learning in our school. Because as I said, they get education with us, and we'll tell more about this later. So we found a perfect setup in the last, let's say, it's a system that got developed over the last 30, 40 years. So we have a perfect system how we integrate education, school lessons, and training together. And at the end, we are the only program that is really nationwide. From each state in Germany, athletes can apply to our program because the federal police, as the name already explains, we are nationwide, the only nationwide police we have. So we have athletes from Berlin, we have now from Schleswig-Holstein in the north, we have a bobsleigh athlete now applying in our program or like entered into our program. So they come from all over the country, and we are the only ones who can offer this nationwide with an education combined.
Yeah, that's like the schedule for young athletes. Last month, we engaged 11 young athletes in our system, and as you can see, there are 4 years of education in the summer school for them. And a lot of people think it's like a handicap when you have to go to police school, but in our view, our approach is different. We deeply believe it's an advantage because these guys or ladies or girls, they come from school and then they are athletes, professional athletes, they have a lot of time. And in our view, it's important that they have something beside the training. It's good for a balanced life. It's good that they are in a class with like 10 other athletes from different sports. They grow in these 4 years. So we saw in the last times, we saw these people are more self-confident because they are qualified for a job already at the beginning of their career. And it's not so much time because we start the school in the end of March and it ends in the middle of July over 4 years, and then there are the final exams, and after these exams they are fully qualified police officers, and after these 4 years they are free to just train for training. And we can engage young athletes at the age of 16, but most of them start at our sports school at 18, 19 or 20. So they are finished with the police education in the middle of the 20s or early 20s, and then normally the time where they have the big success in their sport. And I think it's a good approach. That's our sports school, and I think we have a really great equipment. Christian came back to the sports school in 2017, and he went into the gym, and it was full with metal. There was actually no way through it because it was so much just old metal, and he saw, he said, okay, we have to change this. And that's why we have quite 2 modern gyms. We have a big treadmill for cross-country skiing. We have a very special leg press you see on the right side. So actually we have a better equipment than most training gyms like in Ruhpolding or different places. So I think we have a very great equipment. And that's the reason why it's possible to have the school and the training, everything in one day, because we save a lot of time. It's not it's a short way from the rooms of the athletes to the school and to the gym or to our shooting range. We have a shooting range in Bad Endorf as well for the biathletes. So we have everything you need to develop endurance capacity. You can develop strength, you can do speed capacity. It's everything possible for the first 3 or 4 months of a training season. So I think we are very good at this. And we see 20 years ago, the athletes stayed for 4 months and then they went back to their home. And now it's kind of different. We have a lot of athletes, they spend their time after the school, they stay with us. They come every week, and there's a reason for it, because we have own coaches. We have 18 coaches for the different disciplines, and we have 2 sports scientists. One is special for rehab, and like in alpine skiing or in cross country, in ski cross or ski jumping, we often have injuries, and these athletes they do their rehab training in our house, and so we have our own physios, and it's really good for them. They are with us. They can have freshly cooked meals from our own chefs, so it's really like a whole package for them. And that's why we are quite connected to our athletes. I think a bit more connected than other institutions because we saw them for years, saw them starting at young age, and they spend a lot of time with us. And we are quite proud about over the system. So I think it's your part.
I just go back for that slide again because to give you a little bit more input on that one. As Arne said, I came back 8 years ago to the sports school because I was an athlete there too, as a speed skater, and I stopped after Torino due to a back injury. And in your life, you sometimes don't know what things happen, what are good for you and what are bad for you. So there's a moment when you think this injury is bad, but at the end, we developed, because I came back to my own sports school knowing that I want to have healthy careers with the athletes. So when you have that input in your own career, then you start shaping things that are new. And for example, we test our athletes in April when they come back to the school. We test them for imbalances, like if they are getting, let's say, straight out of their winter. So we find problems in their muscle structure right after the season. Most federations do that maybe, if they do it, in May, June, or later on. So we try to prevent injuries that might occur in September or October by testing our athletes very, very early in the season when they arrive in our station and to help them right away. So that's the approach we have, and we want to, or we see each element we have, let's say on a level between, well, there's a training center of a big sponsor in Thalgau, close to Salzburg. It's a soccer club, you know, the name already came up today. And the next level would be like an Olympic training center in Germany. So we place ourselves in the middle there. Like we are on a level where we can say, like, when you look from the outside, it looks like a professional team. Because we think sport and we live sports and we don't just wear uniforms the whole day. So that's just an important message to you guys. And that you know how deeply we want to be involved in the life of our athletes. And that is also shown by the retention rate. Other funding systems, when the athletes stop their career, they just leave. For us, we have a retention rate that means that athletes stay in the police up to 90%. If you look at the last 10 years, we are up to 92%. Well, we also make jokes about this. If we have careers that are going on until they are 32, they will stay in the job they already have. So, but at the end, they learned what they can do as a policeman. And within the federal police, we offer so many different positions. That's what you see at the bottom. We have multiple career opportunities, from helicopter flying to special forces to like normal jobs, or like, you know, crime defense, let's say, that's what we call it. We're doing international missions. The federal police is involved in the Frontex program, or in different Frontex programs of the European Border Patrol. We have the possibility for different career achievements or approachments. That means with the rank where the athletes start, they can go to every other level we offer in the police. They have open doors going upwards, let's say. And they can even do that during their sport career in our school, which is for us a big, big benefit. And we have nationwide, what I said, we have over 200 different stations throughout the country. So we can actually say that the athletes find their position later on in a range what a normal person would commute to, like within like 30 minutes or like an hour by car from the place they live. We will have a station, and we are able to place the athletes like where they want to be at the end of their sport career. So that's also like why we have such a high retention rate, I guess, because we care for the athletes and we try to bring them at the end of their career to a position where they feel okay to find a new life in their job. Because after 10 years in sport or 8 years in sport, it will be a new life. And it's more like a blind spot for the athlete, that they don't know what's going to come. And what we also do is, at the end of their career, they always get the chance to do internships. So we don't place them just in a station somewhere. They get the chance to pick like stations where they want to do an internship and can test the job that they will have at the end. So that's the program we have, like from the beginning of the career when they are juniors until like the transition period into their normal job. That's how we do it, and that's how we want to develop it. And actually, I hope at least that some other governmental institutions would follow our path to really bring like more assets into the sport, to like make our sport in Germany better, because that's what we are, I think, all missing at the moment. that there's a major idea for the future where we want to be, and that's what we want to be one part of. So if you have questions, that's what we are here for. On the left side, if you scan this, you will send us a direct email. On the right side, actually, on the left side, there's actually a promotional video for our sports school where you get every part of it explained. And yeah, we are up for questions if you have some. Maybe not.
Das Forum Nordicum wird unterstützt durch die deutsche Avia Mineralöl GmbH.